What's up, guys? Today I'm going to go over the second crossover banner for Final Fantasy IX. The first one we had Cloud and Tifa, and I talked about that in a previous video. So now we're going to talk about the one that just released today with Aerith and Sephiroth, and also Cait Sith. So let's get started. This banner, just like the previous banner, has 5 things to pull for: 2 costumes and 3 weapons. You've got a costume for Aerith and her weapon, you have a costume for Sephiroth and his weapon, and then we have a brand new weapon for Cait Sith. Let's talk about Aerith first. So Aerith has Garnet's gown. This is a healing outfit, and a pretty good one at that. You're getting 15 HP, which immediately gives Aerith level 3 in HP, so plus 30% HP and plus 150 flat HP. That's really good, and usually that will be enough to make her survive most fights, so she won't really need other weapons with HP. Or at the most, she might only need one more weapon that gives her HP. Boost heal at 10 points. Gives her level 2, but really, if you're using this outfit, you're most likely going to be using her as a healer. So you're gonna probably have higher levels of healing, maybe 6 or 7 or 8 or something. And then this costume will give you 10 points to boost your healing to the next level. So I'd say on average most builds have like level 6 to 8. So if you go from 6 to 7, that's plus 10%, right? If you go from 7 to 8, that's also plus 10% healing. It goes really low. If you're 8 and you go to 9, it's only plus 5%. But I think for a majority of players, this outfit is going to be giving you 10% of healing. For veteran or whale players, then it can give you 5% healing. That's really good. So you got lots of HP and a good amount of healing. The perfect healer costume. I like this costume. Let me show you what is it competing with. So the problem is so I do like this costume, but the problem is there's a lot of competition for this costume, and one of the competition is basically free because let me show you. Like in the shop, you can go to special, you can come right here and you can buy a gear voucher and draw a ticket pack, which costs 1500 blue crystals, which is half a 10 pull. And you'll get 5 tickets, so you'll still be able to pull 5 weapons, but then you'll also get this gear voucher, and then you can use this gear voucher where is it? You can use this gear voucher in the exchange right here. Gear exchange. You can use the ticket. I have one, and you can choose an outfit. And one of the outfits you can choose is Aerith's Rosy Battlesuit, which gives her plus 8 heal and plus 8 magic defense. So plus 8 heal is, not as good as the plus 10 from her Garnet, but depending on your abilities, it could give you the same exact boost. And then plus 8 magic defense is not as universally helpful as Garnet's plus 15 HP. But if you're against a boss that does magic damage, then actually I'd rather have magic defense. Because that means you'll take less damage, which means you need to heal less. And also it means if you're doing a ranked battle, the less damage you take, the higher your score. So boost magic defense will increase your score on ranked battles, but Garnet's boost HP will not boost your score for ranked battles. So yeah. But this is a pretty good healing outfit for Aerith, and it's basically free. I mean, it costs a ticket, gear voucher, which every account does get one for free. But if you use that already, like I said, you can just go to the shop and you can just buy another one for only 1,500 blue crystals, which, you know, it's pretty cheap, and I would say quite worth it. Oh yeah, okay. And other outfits too. Aerith has even more outfits that she's competing with, and I do have her other outfits. So her Garnet outfit is competing with Kimura Dress. So Kimura Dress has 10 healing. It's the same as Garnet's outfit. They both have 10 healing. So they're tied there. Kimura Dress has buff debuff extension, while Garnet's has plus 15 HP. I wouldn't say one is better than the other, but they can both be useful. I mean, buff debuff extension is obviously more useful if you're using buff and debuffs on Aerith. And then the HP is more useful if you need her to be tankier. And Aerith, I mean, Aerith is usually using buffs and debuffs. So this, I do prefer her Kimura Dress for this, but you know, HP is not bad either. So I would say they're quite close to equal, but I do slightly favor the Kimura Dress. But the point I'm trying to make is, if you have the Kimura Dress, I don't see much value in going for her Garnet's outfit, because they're very, very similar, and Garnet is actually maybe even slightly worse. But other than her Kimura Dress, Aerith also has Floral Gown, which is giving 10 HP, which, you know, is slightly less than Garnet's 15, but for most fights, they effectively do the same thing. Like, you know, for example, if you have 20,000 HP or 30,000 HP, it usually doesn't matter, right? So it depends on the fight, but there can be a lot of fights where having 10 HP or having 15 HP doesn't really matter. So yeah, Floral Gown is close in HP, but Floral Gown does not have Garnet's 10 healing. Floral Gown has 10 buff debuff extension, which, you know, I just similar to the Kimura outfit I was talking about. It depends which one you want for each fight, but my point is that Floral Gown is good enough as well. So if you do have Floral Gown, I don't see much of a reason to be going for her Garnet's outfit. But I would say for healing, I would say Garnet is better than Floral Gown. So, you know, if I were to rank the healing outfits, I would say the best one is her Kimura outfit dress. Then the second best one would be her Final Fantasy IX Garnet's outfit. And then I would say Floral Gown is her third best healing outfit. And then the last one would be the ticket exchange outfit. You know, so she's got 4 outfits. They all have their own pros and cons, and they're all good, and they're all quite similar, but you know, at the same time they are different. So going back to Aerith's outfit, Garnet's gown, you know, it's a good outfit. It's the second, in my opinion, the second best healing outfit. But yeah, it's just you don't really need more than one healing outfit. So if you do have the other ones, I don't see much value in going for this. Okay, that's Aerith's outfit. Let's look at her weapon. Her weapon is called Garnet's Rod. Let's look at OB6, I guess, because most people will not be able to get this to OB10, but some people can get this to OB6, and we'll look lower after. So at OB6, Garnet's Rod boosts magic attack to high of one ally, and also applies regen, which is pretty good healing. So I mean, pretty good effect here. It costs 3 ATB. It only costs 3 ATB. Boost magic attack is kind of rare in this game. It's not that rare, but I would say it's kind of rare. Kind of rare to get. So it is nice. It is nice to have boost magic attack high for only 3 ATB. And then, you know, regen is just regen. It will heal a lot, but it's just sometimes you need the regen, sometimes you don't. It's hard to value place a value on this, but it is good. Materia, nothing special. Our abilities, I don't think it's anything special. I mean, it is giving a lot of HP, which can be nice, but yeah, I mean, it's there. Ability potency is probably wasted if you put if you use Aerith as a healer, it will be wasted. If you do use Aerith as a DPS though, then this will matter a little bit. So my comments on Garnet Rod, at least at OB6 or higher, is it's a good weapon. It's the best magic attack up weapon for Aerith. I mean, Aerith only has 2, so what I'm going to show you is the alternative that Aerith has, and it's on her current banner, her current summer banner here. You have Citric Wand. So Citric Wand, when Aerith is 50% HP or more, increases magic attack by mid. Well, it's like a OES6, which is still mid, but can go to high. And it's also 3 ATB, like Garnet's Rod. So Citric Wand is, you can see it's slightly worse than Garnet's Rod, because even at OB10, Citric Wand only increases magic attack to mid on the first cast. It needs 2 casts or 6 ATB to get to high, while Garnet's Rod only needs 1 cast to get it to high. So Garnet's Rod is obviously better, but the thing is, Citric Wand is non-limited, while Garnet's Rod is limited. So so if you want to upgrade Garnet's Rod to OB6, or if you're a whale OB10, it will cost you a lot of pulls right now. Like, you have to pull it right now because it's limited. After this banner goes away, you won't be able to pull any more copies of Garnet's Rod. So you really need to pull now. Whereas if you go for the Citric Wand, you don't even need to pull it right now. You can just wishlist it in the future. After this banner goes away, it will go into the general pool, and you just wishlist that. Which is what I suggest you do, because even if you do get OB6 Garnet's Rod, like, magic attack high compared to mid is not that big of a difference. It's really only whales care about this. So for most players, having Citric Wand giving you magic attack mid, that's good enough for pretty much 95% of content. So having OB6 Garnet's Rod, really you're just going into whale territory here. So while it is nice and while it is the best for Aerith to boost magic attack, it's not actually a necessary weapon, and it doesn't provide any new gameplay. Like, you can just use Citric Wand, basically, is my comment. So Aerith is my favorite character, so I am actually quite disappointed that both her costume and her weapon are really just not needed, in my opinion. Just use any of the other 3 costumes for Aerith for healing, and just use Citric Wand instead of Garnet's Rod. So yeah, those are my comments on Aerith. I really don't recommend either of these, but really I really don't recommend Garnet's Rod because of what I said. It's really not needed for anyone other than whales. The only good thing I would say is I do like Garnet's gown. It's just yeah. That's only if you don't have her other healing costumes. So it is account dependent. You see, on my account, I already had 2 other healing costumes for her, so I really don't need this 3rd one. But yeah, I mean, there might be some fights where I would like to have Garnet's gown, but not many. Okay, and let's move on and talk about Sephiroth's Kuja's outfit. This is similar to Tifa and Cloud's outfit, and that they both, actually, well, all the outfits give plus 15 HP. Which is really nice. I think these are the FF9 costumes. Yeah. Oh wait, no, Matt also has. Yeah. Okay, well, not many costumes have plus 15 HP, but the FF9 costumes all have plus 15 HP. which gives level 3 in HP, which gives, you know, a good amount of HP in just one R ability on the costume. And that's really good. And then going to the second R ability, Kuja Attire does give boost magic ability potency, 15 points, which immediately gets him to level 3, which gives 30% extra magic ability damage, which is really good for new accounts, because new accounts probably don't have many weapons to boost their magic ability potency. The problem is for more veteran accounts, it's very easy to get boost magic ability potency. Like the longer you play, the more you pull other weapons. It's very easy to get, you know, into level 5, 6. I say 4, 5, and 6. It's pretty easy to get to these levels. So let's say if you're already at level 4 and you wear the costume. So level 4 is 25 points, and then the costume adds 15, right? So 25 plus 15 is 40. 40 gets you right in the middle here, but there is no middle when we talk about R abilities. So 40 will just get you to, you know, maybe level 5. So that would give you a 15% damage increase, right? From 45% to 60%. 15%, which is, you know, half of this, right? If you get level 3, that's 30%. So if you had none, this costume is, that's what I'm saying, this costume is better for newer players. For older players, it's, you know, it's still good though. 15% is still good. And then, but then we look even further. For these are like, now we're talking about veteran players who have almost everything. If you know, then they can reach level 6, or I think some of them can even reach level 7 without this costume. So if you can reach level 7 without this costume doesn't help at all, because you can't. There's no level 8. So if you already have level 7, this R ability is wasted. If you have level 6, it will get you to level 7, which is a 70% to 80%. That's plus 10% now. So now we're getting even less, right? Originally, this R ability was giving you 30%. You know, in the middle, it's giving you 15%, and then at the end, it's only giving you 10%. So, you know, boost magic potency is good, and it's universally good, because this will help Sephiroth do extra magic damage in all 6 elements. But, you know, it gets worse. The stronger your Sephiroth gets, the weaker this R ability actually helps him. But with that being said, I do really like this costume, because basically the first R ability is really good, giving Sephiroth a lot of survivability, and the second R ability is very universal. It means you can use this outfit for all kinds of Sephiroth builds. Like if you want him to do earth magic damage, this is a good costume. If you want him to do ice magic damage, this is also a good costume. You know, you can use this costume for any element, which is nice. But this costume does have a similar problem to Aerith's Garnet's gown, in that it does have quite the strong competition from another costume. Let me show you Sephiroth's other costume. This costume right here, Lethal Style. Lethal Style gives 10 HP, so, you know, 5 less, a little less, right? But just like I said with Aerith, like 5 HP usually doesn't actually matter for most fights. So yes, less HP, but, you know, it doesn't matter that much. The second R ability of Lethal Style is Magic Ability Mastery, which is plus 15% Magic Ability Potency. And this is Magic Ability Mastery. So this is a separate R ability from Boost Magic Ability Potency. So unlike his FF9 costume, right? Let's go back to the FF9 costume. Unlike his FF9 costume, right? His FF9 costume is Boost Magic Ability Potency. So, for example, let's say if you're strong enough, you know, and most veteran players are or can be, you can get level 7 Boost Magic Ability Potency with just your weapons. Then, if you, like I said before, if you use Kuja's Attire, it won't go higher than level 7. But if you use the other costume I showed you, which was the Lethal Style, it will go over level 7 to, for example, Level 7 gives you 80%. With lethal style, it will go over and give you 95%. So his other outfit is better for that use. So yeah, his other outfit, lethal style, does have 5 less HP, but it has the better magic ability, potency R ability. But really, they're both basically the same outfit, I would say, in most cases. For most players, they're both basically the same outfit. I wouldn't really say one is better than the other. I mean, I do like lethal style slightly better, but it's very, very slightly. But my point is, if you have lethal style, there's really no point in getting Kuja's attire. So it would basically, it depends on your account. If you have lethal style, then you don't need Kuja's attire. If you don't have lethal style, I would say Kuja's attire is a great costume to pick up for Sephiroth. Okay, and then let's look into his weapon, Kuja's Spirit Blade. So I really like this weapon, and I think most people do as well. Let's look at this weapon at OB0, actually, because that's how good I think this weapon is. Like, I think this weapon is good even at OB0. So, at OB0, it does magic damage. You don't really care about the damage, though. It hits all enemies. It decreases the magic attack of all enemies. And if Sephiroth is 50% HP or more, it also decreases the physical attack of all enemies. So this is a utility weapon. This is a debuffing weapon, right? You can debuff all the enemies, magic attack and physical attack, by mid. There are similar weapons to Kuja's Spirit Blade, like, let me just quickly show you. There's not that many, though. I think there's only 3. You have Barrett's Electro Cannon, right? Also decreases physical attack, magic attack, all enemies. You have Cait's Battle Trumpet, which decreases magic attack, and if he crits, decreases physical attack to all enemies. And the last one, you have Vincent's S1976. That bit, again, I'm repeating the same thing, but it decreases physical attack and decreases magic attack of all enemies. So yeah, there's 3 other weapons that does what Kuja's Spirit Blade does. But I still value it quite highly because Kuja's Spirit Blade, I mean, the effect of decreasing magic attack and physical attack on all enemies is very powerful, that you usually want to have someone using this effect in each battle if you can. I mean, obviously if the enemies are not immune to these debuffs. So Kuja's Spirit Blade is a strong weapon just simply because you can put this on Sephiroth. So if you are a Sephiroth user, I mean, if you like using Sephiroth in your party, then this is a great weapon to pull, just so that you can use Sephiroth in more fights, right? So if you don't have this weapon and there's a fight that requires, this effect of decreasing magic attack, physical attack to all enemies, then it makes it hard to use Sephiroth, right? You have to use the other 3. You have to use Barret, you have to use Cait Sith, you have to use Vincent. But sometimes you don't want to use, Barret, Cait Sith, Vincent. Sometimes you just want to use Sephiroth, and that's basically why I place high value on Kuja's Spirit Blade. But ideally, it would be nice to have it at OB6 because at OB0 or OB5, it only goes to mid, right? The magic attack decrease, mid potency, physical attack decrease, also mid potency. When you get it to OB6, now they both go to high, but it does require 2 casts. The fact that it requires 2 casts is quite bad. So that's why I think you don't really need OB6, because in a lot of fights you might getting it down to mid is usually good enough actually. So you really just need OB0. OB6 is just nice to have to get the option of debuffing enemies magic attack, physical attack to high potency. But not only that, having OB6 or higher does increase the stats, right? You see at OB6 it has 580 magic attack. At OB0 it only has 260, so it's pretty much doubling the magic attack stats. And also the R abilities go up, and Sephiroth is commonly used as a magic attacker, so that's why I'm mainly looking at the magic attack stat, and then the R abilities boost magic attack, right? Goes up from what it was 30 to 40, which not a lot, but it could help. Yeah. It's got a triangle sigil boost, which is nice, but I think most of the time you will put this in the offhand, so not that nice, but having the option is nice. So maybe some battles you really need to break triangle sigils, then you can just sacrifice some damage and put this in Sephiroth's main hand. Okay, so that's Sephiroth again. So yeah, I like his costume. I think it's second best. I mean, pretty much equal. Okay, I'm sorry. Yeah, pretty much equal to his lethal style. So there's no reason to have both costumes, but I would say you definitely do want at least one. So if you, like I said, if you don't have lethal style, this is a great costume to pick up. His weapon is great. I would recommend picking up at least one copy. OB6 is just a nice luxury to have, but I don't think you really need OB6. One copy is enough for Sephiroth. There's no well, there is an alternative. Let me show you one alternative to Kuja. So you can only look at Sephiroth because I like Kuja because I want to use Sephiroth, right? So I think it's this weapon. Yeah, Sephiroth has Northern Lights, which it's a you can pull this at any time. It's not limited. And at OB6 it decreases physical attack to high. Only physical attack and only single target, but if the fight only requires physical attack down, then actually Northern Lights would be better than Kuja. I mean, the R abilities are worse, so it does depend, but yeah, Sephiroth does have at least one kind of option in Northern Lights. It's not the same, it's not exactly the same, but it is an option there. I think that's the only one. Yeah. So that is something to consider, but I don't think that's a big enough reason. So going back, I do really like Kuja's. It's much better than Garnet. I mean, Garnet doesn't really bring anything special to Aerith that Citric one can't do. But Kuja, basically the magic attack down, and then also just being AoE, it can be quite a strong weapon for some fights. So yeah, that's Sephiroth. I do like him better than Aerith just because of his weapon, but also his costume has less alternatives, right? His costume is only competing with lethal style, really. I guess you could say he does have 2 Arcanums. Actually, no, he has 3 or 4. No, yeah, he has 4 Arcanums. So I guess, yeah, he is competing with Arcanums too. If you do have his Arcanums, then it's better to use an Arcanum than Kuja's Attire. So it really depends what other Sephiroth costumes you have. But yeah, same with Aerith. Okay, last, let's talk about Cait Sith. So Cait Sith did not come with a costume. He just came with a new weapon. But the weapon is quite good, I would say. We can look at it again at OB6 because, well, even OB6 is kind of hard. OB6 will cost a lot to draw this because, well, let's take a look at the stamp card. So the stamp card has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 guaranteed slots, but the problem is on slot 3. On slot 3, you can only choose Aerith or Sephiroth's weapon, there's no option to choose Cait Sith's weapon. So you can only choose Cait Sith on, you know, the other slots. So there's 1, 2, 3. 3 slots for Cait Sith's weapon. So if you pull for 2 pages, you can only get Cait Sith's weapon to OB2, right? So then you need to pull a lot more. Most players would need to pull a lot more to get it to OB6. Let's go back. So yeah, so even looking at OB6 is slight whale territory here. But I'll talk about it because free-to-play players, they can do it if they're lucky or if they saved a lot of crystals. So let's look at OB6. OB10 is probably out of the question for most players. So at OB6, this Megaphone increases the physical attack of all allies to high. That's quite good in itself. But not only that, it also increases the physical defense of all allies to high. So this is just amazing, right? This is giving you 2 buffs, high potency, and to all allies. This is adding so much value, and only for 4 ATB. This is adding a lot of value. Of course, some of this value might not be realized. For example, if you're fighting, maybe you're using a magic attack team, then you don't care about the physical attack. Or, you know, maybe you're using a healer, right? Like most parties have healers. Healers don't really care that you boost their physical attack, right? So the value is not fully there. It may not be fully there for all fights, but the potential is there. The potential is very high. And the same with physical defense. Okay, maybe you're fighting a boss that doesn't do that much physical damage. Then, you know, this physical defense is wasted, right? Maybe you only care about the attack. So it depends on the fight, but the value, the potential is there to do a lot, right? Yeah, so for that I really like it. But let's look at this weapon at OB0 because not most, but it is expensive to get this weapon to OB6. So let's see if it's worth getting this weapon at, you know, OB0 or OB1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So at OB0 or, you know, maybe OB1, we can say the physical attack increase starts at mid, but it can go to high. Okay, so it would just cost you 4 more ATB to get you to high. That's still really good. I mean, that's still really good. I mean, the first cast will already be good, and the second cast is optional, right? You don't need to cast it twice, but having the option is nice. Yeah, it depends on the fight and what Cait Sith's other weapon is, but I'd say that's really good. And then looking at physical defense, it's the same thing. Its first cast is mid potency, but again, it can also go to high, which is great. So even at OB0, I do like this weapon. I do like this weapon. I think, yeah, I would say this is my favorite weapon on this banner of the 3. So my favorite weapon is the Cait Sith weapon. Then it's Kuja, and then obviously last is Garnet. It's my favorite one because this is a very unique weapon. There's no other weapon in the game right now that does this. There's no weapon in the game that boosts physical attack and physical defense. Even single target, there's no such weapon, I believe. Oh no, I think Tifa's guild weapon, I believe, does this. Yeah, but there's no weapon that gives this to the entire party. So it's a very unique weapon, and unique weapons, I really like unique weapons because it opens up build and gameplay possibilities. Taking a look at the R abilities, boost attack is I don't like boost attack because if you're using this on Cait Sith, he's leaning towards a buff debuff roll, so it's not that good. But it can be good. I mean, you could use Cait Sith as your as a physical attacker who also buffs and debuffs, right? Like Cait Sith has a few physical attack weapons, mainly his yellow Megaphone, so you know it's okay. Buff debuff extension is nice because it directly you know affects the weapon he's using, right? So this has a direct effect on the weapon. Boost attack doesn't really have a direct effect on this weapon. It could have an effect on other weapons, but you know that will depend. Looking at materia slots, the boost attack wind is nice. You know, if you do want to use, maybe you want to use an arrow blow here. You know, that could do some decent damage, especially after he boosts his own physical attack. Circle sigil, I mean, any sigil boost is nice, so you know that's good. Yeah, I really like this weapon. Do I think you should pull for this weapon? I would say no. So I like it, but I would, and it's my favorite, but I would say you don't really need to pull for it because let's look at Cait's weapons. So actually no, I can just look at it at the draw, right? Okay, so these are Cait's weapons. So let's look at his weapons. So well, his featured weapon, right? The weapon we're talking about here is boosting physical attack and physical defense, right? He has some similar weapons like Marching Horn. Marching Horn is not limited and it boosts physical attack. Only to a single ally, however, but it does also heal more with applying regen. And it does have, in my opinion, better R abilities because, well, they both have buff debuff extension, but Marching Horn gives heal, which will improve the healing gained from regen. It also does a 13% heal, which doesn't really matter, but I mean, it does help a little bit here. So if you want Cait to boost physical attack, you know, Marching Horn is just a good alternative, especially since Marching Horn is not limited, so you can get it to OB6. And you will, you know, you can cast it once to apply high already, compared to the Quina Megaphone, right? Like I said, you're probably not going to have it at OB6, so it's only going to boost physical attack to mid on first cast. So they're pretty comparable. Not exactly comparable, obviously, because the Quina Megaphone is giving it to the entire party and also boosting physical defense, but comparable. And the other weapon, I don't know which one. It might be this one. No, there's one more. Okay, yeah. The other weapon Cait has is Crystal Megaphone, which boosts physical defense again, but only to one ally. But it does go to high. I mean, similarly, but Crystal Megaphone is not limited, and again, it has regen, so giving some extra healing as well. So, if you need Cait Sith to buff physical defense and physical attack, you know, like I was saying, you could just use these two weapons. I mean, it depends on the fight because these are single target, so it won't always work as well as the Quina Megaphone, but it can work. And obviously, if we go past Cait Sith, because really there's not much of a reason to use Cait Sith. Cait Sith doesn't really have a great place in the game right now, so you can just use any other characters. Like, there's plenty of other characters that you can use that can boost physical defense, even physical defense to all allies. There's a lot of weapons that do that, and there's lots of characters that can boost physical attack. Physical attack to all allies, however, is a very rare ability. It's only Cait Sith's weapon. This weapon can boost physical attack to all allies. And one more weapon that was limited, so you can't pull it right now, is Aerith's weapon. Her Kimura one can do that. Aerith's Kimura one boosts physical attack to all allies, high as well. So yeah, basically what I'm trying to say is there are lots of other options for Cait Sith other than his Quina Megaphone. So, you know, while it is quite unique and quite nice, I don't think it's necessary. Okay, so that is the banner. I talked about all these, the 2 costumes and 3 weapons. To summarize, the costumes are good, mainly if you don't have the alternatives. So, you know, there are 3 other healing costumes for Aerith. If you don't have those, then Garnet is a great choice. And for Sephiroth, there's 1 other alternative, plus other Arcanums. So if you don't have some of those, then his Kuja's outfit will be good. Garnet's Rod is just not worth it for most players. You just wishlist Citric Wand. Kuja Spirit Blade is good, and it's good just to have 1 copy. Quina Megaphone is good, and it's okay to have 1 copy. So it's hard to say. I mean, it depends on the content. Right now, there's no content that really needs this, but there might be. Or if you like Cait Sith, then this could be good. And then with that said, am I gonna pull? I think I will pull. I'm pretty sure I'll pull, at least for Kuja, because if we look at the stamp card, you get a free copy on the 3rd stamp. So, you know, you can choose Garnet and Kuja. I already said Garnet is really a bad choice on this banner. So, getting a Kuja on the third stamp, I mean, it's only going to cost about 2 pulls. On average, you'll get 3 stamps in 2 pulls. So it'll cost about 6,000 blue crystals. I would say that's worth it just to have 1 copy. Right now I have no copies, so you know, having 1 copy, I would say it's worth it to go here. And then the problem is, once you go to stamp 3, then you might as well go to stamp 6, because on stamp 6 maybe it might be a good idea to go Obi-Wan Kuja Spirit Blade just to increase the stats, get a little bit more duration. But also, I'm actually thinking just to get 1 copy of Cait Sith's Quina Megaphone might be a good idea. I mean, this could be a waste of crystals. You might never need this, but I'd say it's better to have this weapon and not need it than not have it and then wish you pulled it, because this banner and, you know, therefore this weapon will probably not return for another year, if I had to guess. I mean, it could. I don't know. It could come back next month for all I know. But if I had to guess, I would say it won't be back for another year. So just having 1 copy feels nice. I don't actually think I'll use it, which, you know, so it's just it just feels nice to have 1 though. And then the second problem is, once you pull for his Megaphone on stamp 6, you know, then it's only 6 more stamps to get a costume, and 6 stamps for a costume, even though the costume is not that good. I mean, well, these are good costumes, but for my account, I already have Aerith's healing outfits. I already have Sephiroth's lethal style. So for me, at least, the costume is not really worth it. But at the cost of 6 stamps, it does start to feel worth it. So I might even go to stamp 12 to get a costume. And then we look, once you get the costume, then you kind of have the same problem again, which you know, basically the way they arrange the stamps, it makes it hard for you to pull a little bit and stop, right? If you pull to stamp 3, you might as well pull to stamp 6. If you pull to stamp 6, you know, you might as well go to 12. Once you go to 12, then you're really close to getting 3 more copies of another weapon. And then if you go for this route, then you might as well maybe go for like OB6 Kuja Spirit Blade. Like you can, you know what I mean. It doesn't have to be Kuja's, but I think you can see what I'm saying. Is the stamps are very alluring. So if you might as well go to stamp 3, then, you know, might as well go to stamp 6, and then, you know, might as well go to stamp 8, and then, you know, and so on. Well, you would stop on page 3. But yeah, I haven't decided yet. I'm pretty certain I will pull at least for this one copy of Kuja's. After stamp 3, I have not decided yet. I don't really think I need this, so I might just stop at stamp 3. But it also depends on luck. So I might not, like, let's say maybe the first pull I get 1 stamp, the second pull I get 2 stamps. Stamp 3. Perfect, I quit. But maybe I'm lucky, you know, maybe on the first pull I get 2 stamps, the second pull I get 2 stamps again. Then I'll be on stamp 4, and then I only need 2 stamps to get to stamp 6. So, you know, it really depends on luck as well. But yeah, I think the winner of this banner is Kuja, just because you can get it on stamp 3. Yeah, those are my thoughts. Let me know what you're gonna do, if you're gonna pull for any of these FF9 gear or not. And yeah, thanks for watching, and see you next time. Bye.